Hello and welcome to Geschichten aus dem Leben, a podcast with various guests from diverse backgrounds, hosted by me, Felix Kupferer. Enjoy! The nice thing about this podcast to me is that I get to catch up with people that I haven't seen or spoken with in a long time. And also in this episode, that's what's happening. I'm talking to João, who used to be my flatmate in São Paulo back in 2018. When I did my semester abroad there, we shared an apartment and lots of nice memories. So it's been about time that we caught up again, and we're doing so on this podcast right here, right now. We're talking about the weather because that's what João does for a living, about his recent move to Portugal where he's going to do a PhD program, and also about friendship and life and growing up, just like in all the other episodes, because that's what the podcast is all about. So thanks again for tuning in to Unter Freund und Freundin. Have fun with João and I, and let's see who's going to be next on the show. Stay tuned. Hello, João. Nice to have you on the podcast.
Hello, Felix. It's nice to be here. It's nice to have this experience.
And it's also nice to talk to you again after all these years. I mean, it's been, 5 years since I left Brazil, since we lived together. So yeah, it's about time we catch up.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And now I'm here in Portugal. Life has changed so much.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now we can finally see each other again more easily too. Portugal is much closer than Brazil, of course. And it's also the first question for this podcast. What's the weather like in Aveiro today, where you are?
Well, the day started very sunny. It was very good. And in the beginning of the afternoon, it was very hot. But now the weather has changed and it's getting a little bit cold, which is very awkward for me. In the summer, we don't have that much in Brazil, but of course I have analyzed a little bit and I know that there is a thing that is affecting the weather today, and it can affect the weather in the next few days as well here.
Yeah, it's a little random of a question to ask. I don't like talking about the weather, but it's for a reason. It's your job to talk about the weather. You're a meteorologist. What made you want to be one? Like, how did you start being so interested in the weather?
Well, when I was a kid, I was very interested in climate change. But of course, I didn't know that I wanted to be a meteorologist. I wanted to do physics. And then my brother was doing chemistry and my sister was already studying physics. My parents, they didn't want me to spend a very difficult life and they tried me not to make physics. So I started to look for some courses that were very related to physics. And then I found meteorology. And then I thought, okay, maybe it's not that fun, but it will involve all the things I like, and maybe I will enjoy it. And then here I am taking a PhD, and now I get to study 4 more years.
So I guess you liked it after all. Like the field you picked was nothing that you had thought of in the first place, but now you're into it. That's nice. Now that you're an expert in the field, how much do you trust weather forecasts, and how do you decide what to wear before leaving the house, for example? Do you look up at the sky and see the clouds and today I need a raincoat? Or do you still check the forecast on your phone too?
It depends where I am, and it depends how the day begins. Like today, I didn't even see the weather forecast because in the past few days, Aveiro has been very dry and the sun is always coming out, so I didn't even check the weather forecast.
I guess in Portugal in the summer it's very hot anyway, all day, every day. There's lots of wood fires in Italy and Spain and Greece and probably also somewhere in Portugal. So I don't think you have to worry too much about rain right now. In Germany it's a bit of a shitty rainy summer this year, so I always have to check my phone for sure to see what the weather is like. And then oftentimes the forecast is wrong and I don't bring an umbrella and I do get very wet.
Yeah, but in Brazil, if we are in the summer, I don't rely that much in the weather forecast as well. I mean, I lived in São Paulo, which is a very large city and it's hard to predict. And in the summer, we have some stuff that we call the convection, which is like the same thing that happens in like pan. When you cover it up, it will begin to form all of those drops in the top of it. The convection is just like that. It is hot and moist, and the water begins to boil, and it forms a lot of raindrops, and it will rain very rapidly. In São Paulo, the rain strikes people like that all the time, and it can cause serious damages. But here, I know that the winter is very wet and it drizzles a lot. It doesn't rain that much.
Yeah, the winter in Portugal is not the greatest, I think. I was in Lisbon in March at some point. It was very cold and windy and rainy. I don't even want to know about like the real winter, like from November to February. It'll be a lot different from what it is right now, I guess, but you'll get used to it as you will to the rest of your Portuguese experience. It's been what, like 4 weeks now that you moved to Aveiro?
It has been 3 weeks now.
Oh wow, so you're still brand new. What made you decide to come to Portugal for your PhD and what is it going to be about?
I always dreamed of making my PhD abroad, and then I found this vacancy, which is in a project that we will use weather simulation, some new stuff that I'm not very familiar with, which is air pollution and air quality, and we will try to see what's the impact in the future. And I think it will be very interesting. It's not a new topic, but it's something that is coming up very recently, and calling at the attention of the people at the moment.
Yeah, to me, it's always like when I think about meteorology, I think about the weather forecast on TV and like the weather men and weather women. But I feel like there's so much more behind it. And the person on TV talking about the weather the next few days, I mean, I guess they're also meteorologists, but they're more of a show kind of person. And you were also one of those, right? Like, I think I remember seeing some videos of you giving the weather forecast on Brazilian TV at some point.
Yeah, but it's not that common in Brazil. In Brazil, the most of the people that present the weather daily, they are journalists. You don't need to be a meteorologist to present. You just need to be someone that can present the weather forecast in a live show. But it was very good. It was a very nice experience. If I didn't have this experience a few years ago, I wouldn't be giving you this interview today. So calm and feeling very, I don't know, so in the mood of the interview.
It was a good training for sure. And also, like, maybe you'll have to give lectures at some point or speak at conferences. And with that background and that experience, speaking on TV, you'll be a lot more confident doing all these things, I think. Talking about Brazil and your life there, you're from southern Brazil, right?
Yeah, I'm from Cruz Alta in the southernmost part of Brazil, in Rio Grande do Sul. I took my master's degree at the University of São Paulo, and then I stayed there afterwards to work because there were a lot of companies.
So you lived in Sao Paulo for, was it like 5 years?
I think it was almost 7 years.
I lived there for 5 months only back in 2018. And I remember it being way too big and way too busy for me. After a while, you get used to it and you pick your favorite parts of town, neighborhoods, and then you just stay in those areas. It's a 20 city of 20 million people, 25 million people. How did you enjoy living there for so long? How was life in Sao Paulo for you?
It was a little bit difficult in the beginning, but at some point you get used to it. You will not visit all the areas of São Paulo. You will practically live in a district of São Paulo and you will do everything there. Like when I first moved there, I went to college and home and college and home and that's all. And then I had the gym in front of my house. The supermarket was very close. It was very good to live there because some stuff were very easy to do. And if you want to go out on the weekend, you have the options and you have all of them in the city.
all the time, basically. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I live in Cologne now, which is not that big. It's 1 million people living there. But even there, you have more options than you can participate in. So sometimes I'm like, this weekend I could go to this party. I could go there. I could go somewhere else. And I end up not going anywhere and staying at home watching Netflix. But that's also fine.
Yeah, me too. I'm kind of a home person as well, or a park person.
Now that you're gone from Brazil for 3 weeks only, so it hasn't been that long yet, but is there anything you already miss very much? Like you miss like Brazilian food or Brazilian music, I mean, there's so many Brazilian things you could miss, but what's the one thing you miss the most?
Well, the one thing I miss the most is my dog. I mean, I had her every day with me all the time. Also, I miss my boyfriend, my friends. But talking about some stuff that I miss the most, the culture, is the food. The food is so much better in Brazil. I mean, I love my rice and beans and French fries with big steak, and this pizza in São Paulo is so much better than the ones I've tried here in Portugal so far.
Pão de queijo,
Yeah, pão de queijo.
feijoada,
Oh,
delícia.
yeah, I miss that so much. I miss the pastel. Pastel is pastry, which is very good. I don't miss barbecue so much because I wasn't used to doing that very often, but I miss my dad's barbecue, of course.
But rest assured, Portuguese food is also very good. I think you'll get used to it. They have so much good seafood and all the pastry. They like the sweet stuff. Whenever I go to Portugal, I eat a lot because I like it very much. And even in Sao Paulo, I used to go to that Portuguese bakery quite often because I miss the Portuguese like goods.
I think they have some very good stuff here, but I miss the food in Brazil because they don't cook beans. Never.
Yeah, like the beans, it's like something very South American, I think. It's not so common to have beans for every dish in Europe. One thing I remember is that food is something very regional in Brazil. So depending on where you are, you have different traditional dishes that are typical for the region. And Brazil is a very big country with very many regions. There's lots of different cuisines and lots of different things to do and see. I didn't really have enough time to travel the whole country. It's crazy big. Like going from one place to the other can take forever and always. And I guess you haven't seen all of your country yet either. What's the most beautiful spot you should go visit when you're in Brazil? Is there something you could recommend?
It depends. If you want to go to a cozy place in the winter, I think you should go to Gramado, Canela, in the southern region of Brazil. It's in my state. It's very cozy. It's very good because the food is so nice. You will eat a lot of cheese, wine, and everything. It's an adorable city.
It feels like Germany almost. I went there on my trip to the south. I was in Canela with like the German style houses and the waterfalls and the forest. Yeah, it's nice there.
They have a very German culture there. I think that most of the people that colonized that region were Germans. So I think the culture is very similar to Germany, I guess. And if you wanted to go to a beach, I would say that you have to visit Ilhabela. Ilhabela is one of the nicest places you will see in the São Paulo coastal area, which is so much fun. You can get a boat and travel around the island. I really love nature, and it has a lot of trees, a lot of beautiful places that you can visit. So beaches in Brazil in general.
Lots of nice beaches there. It's true. I'm surprised that you don't know Rio de Janeiro yet. If you've never been to Rio, it's such a fun city too.
Yeah, I've always been scared about traveling to Rio. I don't know if that's something all the people who travel to Brazil hear about, but it's a little bit scary because Rio de Janeiro is a very violent city, so you can get robbed if you don't take care about everything. So of course you won't give bandeira in that's an expression we use in Brazil. Não dá mole, or or não dá bandeira, which is something that we say to people like, don't walk with your cell phone in your hand all the time because someone will steal you. And that's something we generally recommend people who are not from there. I know that it wouldn't happen to me, but I don't know. I just never went there because I would rather to travel other places, which I generally like more, with more nature and stuff. I don't really like big cities.
Yeah, I mean it is a very big city. It's crazier than Sao Paulo in some ways. And also I think that Brazilians tend to be more scared of Rio than like foreigners traveling there, because when I went there and visited some friends who are from Rio, they were like, you shouldn't go there, you shouldn't go there, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. But the other exchange students who went without knowing Brazilians from Rio went to all those places. They went into the favela on a motorcycle, on somebody else's bike, whatever. Yeah, so I think there are fun things to do. You just shouldn't think about them too much. And sometimes maybe it's a little risky, but as a tourist, usually, if you don't go there taking pictures of the favela and trying to, I don't know, show off. I mean, Brazil overall is kind of dangerous. So when I went to Brazil, I was scared. Like when I first came to Sao Paulo, I was scared. I had some exchange students from my semester who got robbed in Sao Paulo as well. So it can happen.
It can happen anywhere in Brazil, but in Rio, maybe the chances are higher. So, of course, I would recommend people to travel to Rio because it will be fun. It will be fun in the end. Once you take care of yourself, it will be fun. It will be like people in Brazil, they are very warm. They will help you if they see you in trouble. You will enjoy the city. You will enjoy the food. You will enjoy the sea. The beaches in Rio de Janeiro, they must be very pretty as well. And you will get to listen to a lot of music that are very famous in Brazil there. And you will get your caipirinha in the beach. And you will get, of course, the beer, which is not that good as it is in Germany. But of course, it is adapted to our climate.
And it's ice cold, so it's very refreshing having a beer at the beach.
I mean, the beer in Germany and some in Ireland, they, well, at least the ones I tried, they are a bit, they're bitter and you don't drink them very cold, I guess.
Yeah, and they're too strong. I think if you drank that in Brazil, like in the middle of the day, like in the biggest heat, it would kill you, I guess. Like Brazilian beer is much weaker, and then it's cold and it's refreshing. It's like juice or lemonade, whatever. You know that you're in Europe, in Portugal. How do you feel? Like, are you still sticking to your Brazilian way of living, like never walking anywhere at night, never not taking a taxi, or are you already adapting to the European way of life?
Here in Aveiro, I don't feel scared at all to go out in the middle of the night or maybe in the very beginning of the morning without the sun rising. I feel very safe here, but of course, I know that the chances are they're much smaller than in São Paulo. But sometimes I think that I should take care as well because I don't know the place.
I remember when I came back from Brazil to Wiesbaden with my master's, it was so strange to be able to just walk back during the night and not having to pay so much attention to where I was walking and who was following me. As a girl, it's a little different maybe. And everyone should be careful, but you stop thinking about it so much because you feel a lot safer than in Brazil. Of course, in some areas you can walk around at night in Sao Paulo too. I remember walking from the metro to our apartment at night and I wasn't very scared because it was a safe neighborhood. But yeah, overall, I'd still say that you can do your thing more easily in Germany or Portugal without being worried constantly. Whereas in Brazil, I always got a little insecure. I also remember I arrived to Sao Paulo. It was just after Carnival, and I didn't want to spend Carnival in Sao Paulo because I was scared of it. And it's stupid because everybody talks about Brazilian Carnival all the time, and it must be such a fun experience, but I was nervous about it, and I decided to book a flight that would take me to Sao Paulo after it was over. I would have had a time to come earlier, but I didn't want to. Next time, maybe.
I think you missed it because Carnival is very fun there. I mean, in São Paulo, the Carnival got better in the past few years. You can get dancing in the middle of the street and everyone is drunk and it's very festival. Of course, you have to take care of yourself because some people in there because it's free. All of the kind of people are there, so they can rob you without you even realizing it. But I think if you take care, you will have so much fun. And I think you should try the Carnival from Rio as well.
Yeah, the one in Rio must be even crazier. I think I got some idea of what it could be like during Parada Gay, the gay parade in Sao Paulo. I think it was like 4 million people walking in it. They had like some of the biggest Brazilian singers at the time, like Anitta and Pablo Vittar, performing on those trucks. So it felt like carnival almost. And now that I live in Cologne, I also have a bit of that because Cologne is the German capital of Carnival. It's a big thing here. It goes on for 5-6 days in a row where people go crazy. I did that this year too. I must say I'm not a big fan, but it's an experience. So maybe you can come to Cologne for Carnival next year and see what it's like compared to Brazilian Carnival. You might be disappointed because it's not as crazy as yours is, but it's a start. It's as crazy as Germans get.
Yes, of course. I would love to have this experience.
But they also have their own parties in Portugal. In Lisbon, they have Santo Antonio, which is like the saint they celebrate, and everybody goes out in the streets of the old part of Lisbon with their crazy hats, and they're drinking and partying. There's music. That's in June, I think. And in Porto, they also have their own saint that they celebrate at some point during the summer. So you will have nice parties in Portugal as well.
Yeah, people are so much fun here. I really wanted to visit Spain as well. They say people there are very close to Brazilian people. Like they dance so much, which is something that I really want to experience as well.
The good thing about being in Europe now is that everything is so close to each other. Like it's so easy to just travel to another country, meet friends from all over the place because it's like a 3-hour flight from Portugal to Germany, for example. And from Germany, you can go to France and Italy and like all the bordering countries by car, by train. You can fly easily. It's cheap. So I think once you're in Europe, you can do a lot of trips and explorations. Of course, like Brazil has it all too, because there's so many different landscapes and types of nature within the same country. But in Europe, it's interesting because you see all those different cultures too. It's different countries and each country is totally different. So Germans are different from French people, who are different from Portuguese people, who are different from Italians. So you will get to experience lots of different personalities as well when traveling.
I'm very curious to visit Germany, to visit the East Europe, which I don't know. It must be very different from Brazilian culture. I mean, I don't know, of course, nothing about it, but I've heard that some people in the east of Europe, they're very practical. Like, if you ask them something, they will only reply you for that, and that's all. In Brazil, if you ask someone something, they will give you the direction, and then if they are free, they will walk you through it. It is very different. Everything is so different. So I'm kind of getting used to it because in Lisbon I had this treatment. The people are very practical.
It might take more time for them to open up, but the same goes for Germans, and I guess also for Eastern Europeans. Once they get to know you and once they like you, they're very warm and friendly. But at first they're a little distant. Same with Northern Europeans as well, like Scandinavia. It's beautiful there too. You should go there as well. You have to do all the traveling while you're here. It's totally worth it.
Yeah, I will try to do all of that because I'm really curious about it. I really want to visit Norway. It was something that I always dreamed to visit because it's a very different country from Brazil. I mean, they consider Norway one of the most beautiful places, and so I really want to have that experience. Also, I want to do the Santiago de Compostela walk.
I have a friend who did it, who was on the podcast. It was like 4 episodes ago. She had a very good time walking the Santiago de Compostela trail, so I think you would enjoy it too. It's a nice experience, she said. And also, this is one of the questions I usually ask my guests in the end. Now, I already heard that you have those 2 dreams for your time in Europe, like going to Norway and going to Santiago de Compostela. But what's your biggest dream in life still? Like, what do you really want to accomplish in life or experience in life?
You have to share your work life and with your personal life, and it must have a balance. I really want to find that balance I think that we are always trying to find that, but we never do. I really want that for life. I thought that it would be easier. I guess that's one of the biggest dreams of all people. So I would say that it's living a comfortable life with a nice balance between my work and social life.
I think that's something that everybody wants to have, including me. So yeah, I can totally relate to that. And what's the thing that you're most proud of so far?
Everything that I do, some people are most proud of me than I am for myself.
Why?
So I don't know. I feel like it wasn't that hard to get the PhD and to get in everything, but in the end, it was hard. I think I'm very proud because I've accomplished what I wanted, which when I entered the undergraduate studies, I've put that in my mind that I really wanted to take the PhD. Now I'm able to do it.
It's something you should be proud of too, I think. It's not just the other people that are proud of. You yourself can also be. Congratulations on that accomplishment once again. It's nice to have you in Europe now. I can't wait to see you again. It was also nice catching up with you tonight. All the best for your Portuguese adventures. And then I guess I'll talk to you soon.
Sure, it was nice to be here as well, Felix, once again, because it has been a long time and now we get to see each other.
That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast and this episode today. If you liked it, please feel free to spread the word, share it with your friends, and also listen to the other episodes. Some of them are in English, and I'm sure there will be more international guests coming onto the show soon. So stay tuned. Follow the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to it. And also feel free to message me on LinkedIn or my Instagram page. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.